I knew once that support system left, I was going to have a very hard time. And definitely did. It sucked because I went into such a deep depression. One day I just got sick of it. I just got sick of laying around, being lazy. I gained 50 pounds of weight. I used to be like 200 pounds. I was just like, I'm sick of being lazy. I'm sick of giving up. Just started working on things. Went, looked for a job, got a really good job that I still have now that I've excelled in. Power Slap came along. And yeah, it was really rough, but it taught me that I'm a lot stronger than I thought.
Welcome back to another episode of From the Petty Corner. I'm your host, Petty, and I have the King of Kings joining me today, Ryan King Phillips.
Oh yeah, baby! King shit only time, baby. We're here,
Hell
pettying
yeah.
out. Hell yeah.
You're freaking OG, literally the first person to Power Slap ever announced. You're a showman and a petty king. A lot of the heavyweights don't like to be petty and talk shit, but you always bring a performance and your pettiness with you, and we actually need some answers to that.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you want?
Okay, so when you were on Road to the Title, I know Azael was like pissing everybody off, but it didn't seem like you guys had any particular beef, but you still partook in taking his stuff outside to the pool and the basketball court.
Yeah. Well, hey, he had to make it good for TV. Azael, he was a good guy. I talked to him a lot, and I told him, you got to settle down with the drinking. Everyone's getting mad, and I tried to console him, and I tried to counsel him, and unfortunately, he did it again, and I said, we're gonna have to take action. So the clothes had to go. The pool was looking nice and blue. We had to dirty it up with some of Azael's El Perro's clothes, and he took it well. He said, "Who threw my clothes?" I said, "It was me." And he said, "Oh." And I said, so I had to do it, man. I had to do it. But hey, after that, he didn't drink no more, and things were good.
You just got tired of his shit, and you're like, your clothes gotta go.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do some bad things to some people that are doing bad things to you. I tried to sleep a couple nights, and he was keeping me up. Him and Russell. So I do feel bad, but I paid him back. I paid him back tenfold.
Hey, he has no heart. I actually just interviewed him the other day. He has no hard feelings about it, and he is definitely a good person. I just think that maybe that house got to him a little bit in the alcohol, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Azael is one of my guys. He was my roommate in the first season. It was rough there for a little bit because of his drinking, but I think he got under control. And honestly, I think to this day he's sober. So he's changed his life. Another striker's life changed because of Power Slap. All hail the mighty Power Slap. And shout out to Azael.
Yeah. Es mi perro.
El perro. Woof, woof.
Well, I said es mi perro. That means like it's my dog, or he's my dog, or I don't know. I'm Puerto Rican. I don't know Spanish. That's a shame. But anyway,
I know some, but you're good. You're clear with me.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, so when you went against Darius, he walked on stage with his shoes off, and honestly, anybody that wears no shoes on stage, like it never really goes well for him. But like you were just so hype, and you just took your shoes off and threw them. What was that about?
So the whole story with that was I pretty much planned that. I was like, I know Darius is coming up with no shoes on, and like you said, it doesn't ever go well, and I knew that. I didn't want an advantage, especially against someone who's hailed as the greatest of all time, and so I said, you know what, shoes got to go. I'm gonna lose everything. I lost all my power, lost my technique. My feet were sweating because of the anxiety. I was slipping on the mat. I hit him. I actually hit him with my feet planted, but I hit him and then my feet slid because I hit him. It was awful, but hey, we pulled it out. He chopped me in the neck twice. DQ'd out. So.
Well, that's crazy. You guys actually lose power with no shoes?
Lose a lot. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but you want to like slap through your opponent, and with the no shoes on, like I said, with me, I sweat. I have the anxiety. Honestly, when you go up there, you're freaking out, and my feet were sweaty at the time. And when you hit, like I said, you want to go through, but when you hit, your hand stops on the person's head because your feet will actually slide with the momentum. So in the impact, you actually start sliding and you lose a ton of like power impact. everything. So
That's wild. Well, note to all you new guys coming in: make sure you wear your shoes.
unless you're going up against me, take them off.
Yeah.
I need those highlight reels.
Okay, so when you went up against Nate Bernard, you ran up to him and you put your head on his head, and you guys ended up knocking over Chris Tione.
Oh, God. Highlight.
So what was your whole tactic behind going up to him, and then like the ref had to be a victim in that?
So, Anthony Smith is to blame for that, okay? That wasn't my fault. That was Anthony Smith's big foot getting in the way of Tagnoni. But, with Nate, and you actually talked to Nate, so Nate fits the whole screen. Nate's a monster. He's a big dude, big scary guy. You look at the guy, and you immediately are like intimidated, right?
Yeah.
So with me, I'm crazy. So I'm like, he's big, but I don't give a shit. The dog in me is bigger. So I was like, I'm gonna go up to him and I'm gonna be like, you're pissing me. I'm like, you're pissing me off. This is my stage, motherfucker. And I'm gonna tell him whose house it is because he's probably never had someone come up to him like that and show no fear in front of him. So I wanted to get into his head. And I just ran up to him and I was like, this is my fucking stage. This is my house. Get out of here. And he actually, funny story is we didn't necessarily just touch heads. Nate ran and headbutted me right in the middle. And it was like in the soft spot. And it hurt. It was the worst pain. Actually, it hurt worse than his slap. It was so bad. I was like, damn. And like, he like moved me back. And that was then Tagnoni Supermaning off the stage. Oh God, man! Think about it. If he flew off the stage around Dana's lap, that would have been bonus.
I wish I was there for that. Like I was at the Durango, but like I wish I was in the crowd for that because that would have been so fucking epic to see live.
You weren't there for the match?
No, it was sold out. So we went to the Durango, and funny story, we were sitting outside at the bar, and I actually just talked to Joker earlier, and he was there, like at the table with all the strikers, and we were sitting and like kind of like they were here, and we were like right there, but I didn't know any of them. I was like, oh, that guy just got on stage, his face all swollen.
True. So, we're very approachable though. We're in a vicious sport, but we're very approachable people.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Everyone's been so kind and welcoming. So.
A lot of guys that want the fame, and they're gonna definitely want to get on the video podcast. I know very well.
Every time I post a clip, I get a message.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting out some good content. Yeah, no, you're putting out some good content. Obviously, we're all catching on. At first I was like, "Who's this?" And then I started seeing your clips come on, and I was like, "Okay, it's just hey." And like we talked about earlier, it's good to have a female in this space. We don't have any females in this space, so maybe some will catch on and bring more female fans and help the king not be single.
Hell yeah! Hey, ladies, if you're listening, King Ryan is single.
Yeah, baby.
He's looking for a slap queen.
Slap. Yeah, you know it, baby. Take that 5 fingers to the face. No, not. No, that's the message.
Okay, so you were born in New Jersey, but you currently live in Ohio?
Correct. Yes. Good job.
What age were you when you moved from New Jersey, to Ohio?
The Jersey Shore. I was 21 years old. I was actually living with my girlfriend at the time, and then she went to college in Maryland, and I moved back with my mother. She moved here, and I went for some free college. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. See, I joined the military for free college.
Hey, you're a badass. You think I'm a badass, but I'm saying with a real American badass.
Thank you. I appreciate that because sometimes I just live my regular life. I'm a mom, 2 boys.
Yeah, but
anyway,
you got that fire in you. No one's messing with the petty.
Hell yeah. So what was that move like for you from Jersey to Ohio? Have you ever lived in Ohio before that, or?
No, I never lived anywhere else but New Jersey. It was kind of like a culture shock. I lived on the beach. So a lot of activities that I was used to were pretty much ripped away. and I had to make a new life. I had to basically start over. It was right around the same time my dad passed away, so it was really tough. But I wanted to go to college. I wanted to become a English teacher at the time, and I met a lot of good people, a lot of friends that I have today. For 15, 20 years. So, they've helped make the transition very smooth. And I've had some crazy times here in Ohio. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. It's made me the killer. And I think honestly, if I didn't move out here, I probably wouldn't be in Power Slap.
Wow, that's crazy how like life happens. But would you ever consider moving back to Jersey?
No, absolutely not. New Jersey is New Jersey's beautiful. Where I'm from is absolutely gorgeous, but unfortunately, you have to be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive. It was always expensive. That's another reason why I moved, was because they jacked up my rent like crazy. But it's expensive to live there, and honestly, where I'm at right now in Ohio is great. It's affordable, and making great money. I got a great house. I live right on the lake, so I'm fine.
Do you have any other siblings?
I have a half brother and a half sister, Michael and Tracy, but I barely talk to them.
I was going to ask if you were close to them. What age were you when your dad passed away?
I was 18, 19, 18 going on 19.
I'm sorry to hear that. I still have both my parents, so I couldn't imagine like what the struggles and things that come with that, and at such a young age as well.
Yeah,
Um,
it's tough.
and then me if I'm wrong, but did your mom pass away too?
Yeah, she passed away in 2018. So,
So
it's tough. You definitely, my advice is it's not going to be easy, and time is the only thing that will heal the wound for sure.
and how old were you when your mom passed away?
Geez, what? I was like 30, 35, I think it was.
How old are you now?
41.
Wow, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
know a lot of things about you guys, but I didn't know that. So how did you work through that? Because it sounds like you're not close with your half siblings and you're almost like alone. So how did you get past all that?
Oh, that's a good question. With my dad, I wasn't necessarily alone. My friends were my family. All my friends are my family, but it was tough with my mom because I always said, when my mom goes, that's gonna be. I already experienced my dad going, so I already know once I'm completely, I don't have. There's a different level of trust with your parents, right? That you
Mm-hmm.
can trust them. Like I could pick up the phone at any time, call my mom, and tell her whatever. Mom, I just
Mm-hmm.
got arrested. She,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's like, what's she gonna do? She's not gonna judge you, but she's gonna help you. So I knew once that support system left, I was gonna have a very hard time, and definitely did. And it sucked because I went into such a deep depression, and that depression led into COVID as well. So it was like this, just like I couldn't get out of it because the world shut down, and then I'm just stuck in my house, like depressed. I don't know. It just one day I just got sick of it. I just got sick of laying around, being lazy. I gained 50 pounds of weight. I used to be like 200 pounds. I was just like, I'm sick of being lazy. I'm sick of giving up. Just started working on things. Went look for a job. Got a really good job that I still have now that I've excelled in. Um, Power Slap came along. Yeah, it was really rough, but it taught me that I'm a lot stronger than I thought.
Yeah. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, and nobody will ever know what that's like until they're in that situation. It's going to happen to everybody one day. I'm glad that you pulled yourself through that
Thank you.
and you are where you are today. And I'm sure that you make your parents really proud because you're a great ambassador for the sport and you're doing great things out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Diana.
Of course. And you are in professional sales now?
Yeah, I'm actually a account manager. I just got promoted to account manager a couple months ago.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. It's a dream. It was actually a dream come true. I've always wanted this position, and I finally got it. So
That's amazing.
I think Power
Uh,
Slap helped because every time I win, everyone's like so excited, and they're like,
yeah.
what? We got something for you. And all of a sudden, everything changes.
Yeah.
So thanks, Power
Yeah.
Slap.
You get Dana's bonus and you get a promotion.
It seems like it. they're quiet when I lost to the Bell, but good thing
Yeah.
I got the account manager position before I lost to the Bell. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Um, so in your Power Slap bio, it asked what was the best thing you've ever did before. And I think you put down that you saved a bunch of people's jobs in the Philippines. Can you elaborate more on that and what exactly that entailed? And
yeah. I was sent over. Well, during college, I had a job, and it was for a third party call center type deal, customer service, quality assurance thing for T-Mobile. They had a condition critical where a site in the Philippines was on the verge of shutting down, and a lot of people that it was about 3,000 I think, or 1,600 to 3,000 people's jobs would have been lost. So they picked the best people, and I was one of the people that was picked, and we were sent over there to be basically the supervisors of all the teams there while their supervisors got retrained to retrain them. Well, it turned into this whole thing where people weren't doing their jobs, people weren't showing up to work, people were treating it like a vacation. But me, I was there like just grinding, and I was getting all these things, like all these accomplishments done. I was creating these new things. Like people were like, "Who is this guy?" I was working 26 hours. Like I was really involved and dedicated. So they ended up sending all about 20 26 resources home. But they kept me and like six other people, and these people were my bosses, like managers and directors and like high up people. And then it came down to they just kept me because I was just doing so much work and just excelling everywhere and getting all these stats up. So I ended up staying there for 9 months. And all in all, I just improved the site. They wanted me to stay, but I declined, unfortunately. It's too different for me out there.
mm-hmm.
And I thought with what I did out here, I'd probably get a big promotion in America, and unfortunately didn't work out that way. I actually left the job when I came back, which is crazy. But it was an amazing experience. I saved, like I said, I saved people's jobs. I learned a lot. Once again, I learned a lot about myself because seeing how they lived out there compared to how we live,
Mm-hmm.
it made me appreciate us here a lot more. Like I said, I had the opportunity to staying out there, but it's like, man, I really appreciate what we have here now. Like I miss it, like just having my own internet or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
you know. So so yeah, I it was a really cool experience and definitely something to put on the resume. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a really cool experience. I know you didn't get the promotion there, but at least you just got the one at your current job.
Yeah. Well, hey, like I said, all in all, it helped out. It was on my resume, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of jobs because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
I'm glad you can help all those people. You're probably rich over there too, right? Because that's like our currency goes a long way over there.
It's 2 to 1. They're every dollar we make, it's two to them. So and not only that, but you have to think too. A lot of their beverages or food or things like that don't cost like they do here.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Red Bull here is what, 4.99.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull over there was like 20 cents. It's like it's crazy.
Dang.
Yeah. So you're making $2 to your one, and then everything is so cheap. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
kicking ass.
And then before you got into slap fighting, did you have any previous combat sports history or any sports history?
Um, yeah, I was well, sports. I played basketball and I also played baseball. But I was more of like a skater and surfer because I lived on the Jersey Shore and
Mm-hmm.
bodyboarded. So that turned me into kind of like a surfer punk, I guess you can say. So I was kind of a dick, people, the locals only type deal. We get into fights, locals only underneath the boardwalk, and it was real Jersey source shit.
Yeah.
They don't show on the show, that's for sure. But um, yeah, I had martial arts training when I was younger. I did Taekwondo with J.H. Kim, who's like a 10th Dan black belt in the history books right now. So I learned a lot from there. I did a lot of like Muay Thai and Shaolin Kung Fu with some of my friends because they were being trained, and I just caught on with them. And then when I moved here, broke up. Me and my girlfriend broke up, and I got mad, so I wanted to fight someone. So I went to probably the worst place to pick a fight, which was Strong Style MMA, which is Stipe Miocic's gym,
Oh shit.
and like the beasts of MMA. Like there's some of the
Yeah.
like Cody Garbrandt used to train there. And I went in there. I'm like, I want to fucking fight someone. I went to the guy. I'm like, is there anyone I could just like spar or like do something with? And he's like, but you can hit pads. And I was like, all right. So I hit pads with him and ended up joining the gym and, doing boxing and MMA there. And with, like I said, champions. I had a guy in the ring with me I was shadow boxing with that was a 21-0 WBO champion. It's just the one of the best gyms in the world that you feel like a champion when you train there. And a lot of my experience fighting, not fighting, but training, with actual professional tutelage would be from Strong Style. Fighting is more on the streets for me. I'm always a street fighter. So
Yeah. I know how. I was born in New York and raised in Pennsylvania, but I grew up going to Seaside Heights, and I've been to Point Pleasant plenty of times. So I know how Jersey people are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, we're Seaside Heights, amazing, and Point Pleasant. I lived on Manasquan, right up the shore.
Yeah.
So you're on the pier of Point Pleasant. If you look maybe 10 minutes down the shore, that's where my hometown was.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I always
awesome.
wanted to live there.
I know.
But now that I'm older, I'm like, I can't afford that.
No, it's fucking crazy. My house in New Jersey is 10 times more.
Yeah, I believe it.
No joke. Yeah,
I believe it.
My friend moved from Arizona back to New Jersey, and he's like, this is the biggest mistake. He moved from a 3,500 square foot house to an 800 square foot house, and he's paying more. I'm like, dude, you're crazy, man.
Yeah. See, I live in Utah now, so I couldn't move back to the East Coast because it's well, I mean, Utah's pretty expensive, but we got lucky with our house. We bought it before the craze.
Nice.
But I just couldn't see ourselves moving back over there.
Utah is amazing. I was lucky enough to stay in Utah as well. I traveled up and down from Moab to Salt Lake.
Yeah, so I live near the Air Force Base. We'll just say that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't want to tell the fans. Some of these guys are a little crazy, especially these slap strikers you're talking to. Aren't you married? You're married, right? I think.
Yeah, I have a husband and 2 kids and a puppy.
Yeah, you better keep that under wraps now.
Yeah. So you started training at Stipe's gym. How did that lead you to slap fighting? And then when you got into slap fighting, does people at Stipe's gym help train you for that?
So slap fighting was just basically me, right? So when COVID hit, I was into it. I loved watching it. I saw, before COVID, I saw Dumpling knock out that little guy with all the tattoos and the blacked out eyeballs, sent it to the sky, and I was like, holy shit. And I started looking for them. You started looking for the fights, and I was watching them. And I was like, this is pretty rad. It's gnarly, but
yeah,
I'm like, I don't think I could do this crazy shit. I'm like, it's crazy, but I'm like, man. But the whole thing was that back in the day, back in 2008 era, I was partying with the boys, and we would go out all the time, and we go to this bar, and we knew everyone at this bar, and we pretty much get away with murder. But we get drunk, and me and my friend would start slapping each other and just testing each other's, chin. I don't know why we did it, honestly, but we'd just be drunk idiots. And people, the bouncer would laugh at us, and our friends would laugh. They're like, oh, do it again. And, and then all of a sudden they would jump in. And then one time it was just everyone started doing it. It was weird. We would just stand in front of each other. There's no barrel, no table, no nothing. It was just you and the just taking whacks.
No rules. You could step.
Yeah, no rules.
You could club.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, there's one video where the guy we started doing it, his name is actually Ryan as well. Me and Ryan 1, Ryan 2. And his brother Brett, there's a video of him the guy runs and he's boom, and he's run, and he gets up, he's like, I'm all right. This is back in 2007, hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was one time where it went from the bar to an after party, and I took like at least like 50 slaps. Like I went 16 rounds with 16 different people, and and then when this came about, and I started seeing it, and then it started progressing into a real sport. I'm like, wait a minute, this is something that I could probably really do,
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends who knew, they're like, yeah, you should definitely get in that. And I was like, so I did, and yeah, here we are.
That's sick. So did somebody like reach out to you? Because you were on Road to the Title 1. So this was like before anyone even knew what Power Slap was and Dana White was behind it. I would assume that people were reaching out to you. So like how did you get in touch with the producers and that kind of stuff to get into the show?
So it's I was really lucky. I had a good friend at the time, and he knew I wanted to get into slap fighting because I pretty much put a Facebook post out saying, oh, I'm about to do the slap fight, because I was about to sign up with the other league, the Slap Fight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately our schedules didn't align, so everyone was like hyped up to see me get into it with the other league. So he knew I wanted to get into it. Well, he's a kind of like a musical artist. One of his songs is actually the theme song for Ultimate Fighter, the series.
Mm-hmm.
And so he knows some of the producers and things like that. And it just out of the blue, I guess the guy asked my friend at the time, hey, Dana White's starting a slap league. Do you know anyone who's good for it? And he's like, I know the perfect person. And he gave my information, and I sent a couple pictures over. And the executive producer for the Ultimate Fighter, Gary, texted me. He's like, "Yo, it's Gary," and he texted me, "It's Gary from the UFC," and I was like, "Holy shit, UFC!"
Yeah.
I was like, "This is really happening, right?" And they're like, and he's like, "Do you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, bro!" I'm like, and they're like, "We'll pay you this, that," and the other league was like, "Well, we're not paying for shit." These guys are like, "We're paying for your trip to Vegas. We're paying for your medicals, this, that." And I'm like, wow, they're doing medicals too. I'm like, sign me up. This is, I feel good about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just got hit up from a friend, and the rest is history. Yeah.
That's wild.
And it was the qualifier. That's the qualifier. That was actually a year before season 1.
Yeah, so you had a slot to get into being contention to get into the house. So you got really lucky that you had a friend that had a connection there. But what was it like living in the house?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess I was lucky, but then again, I could probably, because it was before they put that link up for everyone to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably still would have signed up, honestly. But it was just like that. How was it like living in the season 1 house? Well, we already know Azael was being a dog, so that was fun to handle. It was definitely an experience. A lot of the guys that were there, luckily, were at the qualifier as well, and we already hung out and stuff. So a lot of the guys that were in the house, it was like just hanging out with my friends again. We actually all missed each other. It was like 9 months after the qualifier that we were all in the house, and majority of us made it. So that was pretty cool. But it was tough. It was tough. Me myself, I've really only lived with girlfriends. I've never really had a roommate, like a guy roommate or another person, unless, like I said, it was like a romance or something. So it was cool, but it got on it's starting to get on my nerves. I'm a kind of private person. I like my alone time. I like to sleep too, and those guys are getting fucking rowdy. And honestly, they cut out a lot of cool shit that I did. Like, there was one point where Azael and I think it was Russell were fighting again, and Jesus was trying to calm down. Well, I jumped off my top bunk, grabbed both of them by the neck, and was like, "You got to go to fucking bed." And I was like throwing them in bed. I was like, "Get the fuck to bed." And it was crazy. And it was a lot of the things they did, like the promotion, or not the promotion team, but the production team would do some shady shit. Like, they would hide your food, or mark we would have to write stuff down for them to get us at the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and then we would put it with our name. They would have like our names on it, and they would put it in the fridge. Well, they would put other people's names on some of the shit that you got. Like I got like Sprite one time, and they put Carice's name on them, and I'm like, Reese, are these your Sprites? Like, I never ordered them, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they would try to like start shit with us, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was crazy, and it was new, you know. It was like, you know, we're on a reality show. I never really thought I would be on a reality show before.
Yeah.
And it was cool life experience.
So how is it being just like an average person and then like cameras all up in your face following you everywhere? Like how was that adjusting to that?
I mean, there's been times in my life where that aren't really average. So I've had some pretty cool, extravagant times where there's been cameras in my face before. Nothing crazy, but it wasn't anything serious. And not only that, but I'm a really friendly person, so I was making friends with all the camera guys and stuff like that, and fucking with them, and you know, throwing ice at them and stuff while they were filming.
Yeah.
You know, it was just cool. I just like, you know, just hanging out and being around, just being bored. You know, it was all it was just basically us guys getting to know each other, being fucking bored because there was nothing to do. You couldn't watch TV, you couldn't listen to any radio. All you could do was sit in a hot tub with a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's only for a short period of time, right? Though it's only like 2 weeks.
I wish it was 3 weeks for us.
3 weeks for week 1.
Three
Wow.
and a half, yeah. So it was a long time. That's a long time. I mean, 2 weeks is pretty doable, but 3?
So your old buddy Crespo just moved up to super heavyweight, shaking up the ranks up there.
Yeah.
Could we see you move up there to face him again?
Absolutely not. Oh my god. I even being at heavyweight right now, I feel like shit. Like I shouldn't even be here. Honestly, I should be like I said, before COVID, I was 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So and 200 pounds, like I would stay there even if I didn't work out. I would just eat I would eat regular, and I would just maintain 200. Only till about when COVID hit, and I stayed home and eating it from home and eating like shit, not walking, not doing shit. That's when I gained a ton of weight. So yeah, no, I'm not going to super heavyweight. I'll tell you what though, I do miss Crespo. I wish he would come back so I could, you know, maybe get that loss back. But you know, I'm happy for him. You know, hopefully things really work. I mean, shit, he just beat the number 1 contender, so
yeah,
things are working out.
It's probably one of the biggest upsets on the whole card.
Wow, yeah, it was it was close. I don't know how they scored it. It was really close.
I think that his last hit was the most damaging. I don't think either of them had like any like crazy damage, but I think his last shot had the most power, and that's from my perspective. Like, what do I know?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. I'm gonna have to watch it back, but you could be right. I mean, the from my perspective, the hitman wasn't moving at all, and but when Crespo got hit, you know, he acted like it didn't phase him. So
yeah,
I mean, it was a close battle, and Crespo pulled it off. Hey, good for Crespo, man. I was extremely happy for him. That's great.
Yeah, and I met him. He's a good guy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you think that you would move down to 205 and shake up the light heavyweight rankings? Or, I mean, even if you like get back down to a weight where you would sit at 200, maybe even get to 185, because I feel like that's kind of realistic. If you're sitting at 200, you probably could make 185.
Yeah.
Is that something you could see in your future?
It's possible. I really want to see what I can do here. I think I got one more run at heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give the bell another test. Obviously, I definitely probably have to win one before I can see him again. Maybe. I don't know. You never know. They might give me the rematch. We'll see. But, you know, it's I definitely want to get back in there regardless of anything. So I want to test myself at heavyweight once more. But if that doesn't work out, you could probably see me go down 205, 185. It's a big possibility.
Yeah. I think Wolverine was on your list of people you wanted to fight too, right? When you joined?
Absolutely. Well, honestly, he's probably the person who pulled me in the most to be a slap striker because I've wanted to give him some competition. He was wiping everyone out. I was like, I need to face this guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah.
So, what do you think is next for you in the sport? I know you said maybe one more, but do you see any like standout heavyweights that could be your next competition, or are you kind of waiting to see the new guys that come in?
Yeah, it's it's really tough because the heavyweight division is in such a weird space right now. We got a lot of disqualification wins, or people getting disqualified when they were winning the fight, and things like that. So it doesn't help to shake up the numbers. I'm still number one, even though I lost the champion. I'm still number one. And the rankings haven't shifted except for maybe Nate because I just beat Nate. I do believe that I'll fight anyone. I'll just put that out there right now. I'll fight anyone. We already know that. I think Ellis is a possibility. I think that possibly Dorian as well would be another match. I know everyone wants to see that match. Me and Dorian.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, but let's see what season 3 is bringing too. I know there's a couple guys already barking at me in the DMs. Let's see what they do and what they say about what they see in them. I honestly, it's a toss up to me. I don't really see too many problems, but I do see some hopeful contenders.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't really followed too much of season 3 cast yet. I met a bunch of them. I've talked to a few of them and stuff, but I did hear there was a lot of heavyweights coming in. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how the next couple weeks go. I will say I would love to see Brian Ellis for Nate Bernard because they're like both pro football players, and then maybe the winner of that face you. But that means you sit out longer. So if we had to give you somebody before them, DTP.
I mean, it's looking like that because honestly, I would if Dwayne would have stayed in the heavyweight, then obviously it would probably been me and Dwayne again. That would have been the match. Everyone wants to see that match again, right? Because it's got I broke my arm. I didn't have an arm, and my other arm was actually broken at the time as well, but I still went in there with it. It didn't need surgical repair, so I still went with that one. So that Dwayne match is a big match. So, hey Dwayne, if you're listening, you can always come back to Papa. 265 isn't too far for you.
So you had to have surgery on your arm because you had a torn bicep, I believe, when you were smacking the dummy in the house. So you had to go home and get surgery. What was that surgery like for you and the recovery process?
Oh, well, the surgery itself wasn't bad. They knocked me out. It was 3-2-1. I had one of the top doctors probably in history. I don't even know. This guy is just crazy. But he's the Browns doctor. He's an orthopedic. He's been in magazines. He has inventions. He doesn't even do surgeries himself anymore. He uses like AI arms and like robots, and he's that kind. He's like a genius. So I was like, I'm in great hands. Whatever happens here happens. So the surgery was fine. The recovery was a bitch. I didn't tell my work that I got injured. I was on an NDA, so I couldn't really talk about anything with the show because the show wasn't released. So I couldn't, there was some time I had to fly out actually and do an after show for Power Slap, and they're like, "Can you keep the cast at home because we don't want to give away that you broke your arm?" I'm like, Jesus Christ, but I only had one arm for good 3 months. So,
wow.
And I lived by myself, so doing shit on my own was tough, and it was a bitch, but we got through it, and yeah, it was just I took it. I did it for Power Slap. I when I got injured, there was not a single time I said I'm not fighting. I never said I wasn't fighting, and I said I'm going to do this. Me and Dwayne are basically the main event for the house. We were the very last fight of everyone. And I wanted to make history, so yep.
I will just say that I respected that so much because I don't know if it was the same episode or the one before it where the guy fought Jewel. I forget his name.
Andrew
Can't remember.
Provost.
Yeah, and he broke his hand or something during that match, but I guess
And
in his
we're like,
defense, that's really painful. But like, if you're in that moment, did you waste the opportunity by not trying with your other hand? So I respect that you did that. And this is no shade to Andrew. I'm just saying he was just an example.
well,
But
Andrew, I was there. I mean, I watched it live right in front of me,
mhm,
and I saw it all happen. Andrew was winning, and I think if he changed to his left and just threw that last strike and it landed, and that's it, he would have won that fight. He was up
mhm,
by that much. So he could have beat Jewel, who was one of the greats. Um,
mhm.
but hey, like you said, you don't know. It could have hurt like a bitch. Obviously it was enough for him to say, "I don't want to do this anymore."
Yeah.
And he's a tough guy. I mean, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt or something, MMA
Wow.
fighter. So Andrew Provost isn't a weak bitch, but it was really
Mhm,
surprising to see him quit because of
mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just had to ask you about your shoes that you wore in the fight against DeBell. Were they off whites or were they custom Air Force Ones?
They're custom Air
Custom.
Force. Shout out Shoemaker. He made the Jason Voorhees Air Force Ones for me, and they're awesome. Sick.
Yeah. They were sick. And I couldn't tell because Off Whites has like the Air Force brand they did or whatever. So I couldn't tell if they were those for custom, but they were sick.
Yeah, no, they were real Nike Air Force Ones, just custom done by like his name is Shoemaker. You can find him on Instagram. A little expensive, but hey, you get what you pay for.
Is there anything new and exciting that you want to share with the fans?
Uh, you know, yeah, actually, I do. First of all, the Bell fight. No, I do want to say that really wasn't me at 100%. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I say it sounds lame, but my cat. I have a cat, or had a cat that was unfortunately passing away around that time, and it was kind of crushing me more than I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to leave her here by herself, and then I had some family issues and some friend issues that were going on, and it was just a whirlwind of things. And I got promoted, so I had to learn that position. That was stressful, and it was cutting into my time. And so honestly, the next fight that you're going to get from the King of Kings is going to be a lot better. I'm way happier and I'm more comfortable than I've ever been. I made a lot of mistakes with the bell, and I'm not going to do that again. I kind of underestimated the guy, because I was on top of the world. Beating a guy like Nate and beating Darius the Destroyer, I was sky high, right? But it humbled me. The bell humbled me a lot, and it's you're gonna see a better King of Kings. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna get big. I'm gonna get stronger, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm number one. I'm the one at the top of the mountain with the belt raised and um, doing the damn thing. And so yeah, be except for that for the Return of the King 2.0. It's the second one, the second return. But not much. You can definitely check out the Barefisted podcast. We have, we started up again. We're trying to get the guys fired up for it. It's kind of tough, but we try to do it every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern time on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And we also have a merchandise store that you can purchase. Dorian DTP Disturbing the Pieces merchandise. John the Machine Davis has a shirt and hat up there. You can purchase my merchandise or Barefisted merchandise as well. 100% of the proceeds go to each a striker that you purchase from. So if you purchase from me, I get the money. If you purchase from John, he gets the money. So it's cool. But just keep being a fan. We appreciate you very much, especially you, Diana. We appreciate, like I said, having that energy, the female energy. It's good to have. We need more females to be having their eyes on us, and I think with you cutting into more of the minds of the striker, and people like Paige Van Zandt or Sheena, or Jackie, and just the ladies on the last card. They're pushing forward, and it's definitely gonna help us in the long run.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you're going to step your game up. You're going to step up your pettiness on that comeback.
Yeah,
And make sure you guys check out the Barefisted podcast. It's actually a dope ass podcast. and I enjoy watching it.
Hell yeah.
And they have a merch store, so make sure you go support them and grab some merch. Where else can people follow you at?
You can follow me at Instagram _King_Ryan Phillips. Basically anywhere you go, that's where my handle is. You can find me on Facebook there as well. Twitter, I do have a Twitter page. I don't really use Twitter that much, or X or whatever you want to call it. You know, that reason alone, just I don't even want to use it.
I love X.
Yeah, oh my god, I used to be subscribed, but sheesh, it's enough for me. It's too much internet. But Barefisted Podcast, at Barefisted Podcast on all social media platforms, YouTube, Twitch, everything. You can find me there too. And saddle up, pony up. It's king time, baby. We're coming in 24. Hopefully we get another card in, and I get a fight here soon, and I can give you guys another highlight reel KO, baby.
Yeah, let's go. Well, it was such a pleasure having you here, and I want to say thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to watch you get back to the stage and step up your petty game.
You know it. It's gonna be extra petty just for you.
Hell yeah, I need those clips.
You got it.
And for those of you that are tuning in, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that good shit. See you next Tuesday, and stay petty, bitches.